I get another question from a parent who's asking, okay, Jeff, we have not completed the FAFSA. My son is going to be going to college next year, and we feel like we're a little bit behind. Is it too late? No, it's not too late. However, it's not what you, uh, well, it's what you don't know that's going to hurt you. That will be the biggest risk factor that you have is a lack of knowledge, particularly a lack of knowledge in reference to what needs to be done specifically for your situation. So let's kind of look at this from a timeline perspective for the high school senior who's going to be going off to college in the following year. So there's a few things that we need to have into place. Well, because we're late in the school year, you probably need to begin to look at applying to schools. But in order to do that, one of the first things we like to do is a financial aid analysis. At least that's what we call it. And when we do the financial aid analysis, the purpose and reason why we want to do that is because we want to make sure that we have realistic expectations in terms of what the parent side of funding college is going to look like. Because again, parents' lack of knowledge is what's going to really work against the student in the whole scenario because less than 1% of entering freshmen are going to receive a full ride. What does that mean? That means that 99% of parents must be prepared to pay. This is very, very important. And this leads into really going into the next year because as award letters are sent out and parents and students are hit with sticker shock because they had unrealistic expectations concerning funding, and they find out that less than 1% of entering freshmen receive a full ride and that there will be a gap in funding. And so you want to prepare yourself for that. One of the things that we want to do is you want to have a financial aid analysis. The financial aid analysis will give you a sense of what the cost of college might look like. And then you can take the next step and get a financial aid analysis for each of the schools that you have an interest in. I recommend that you select a minimum of 10 schools. Now, why do we say 10 schools? Well, we're not just saying 10 schools, but we're talking about 10 schools that you've had an opportunity to evaluate from a funding perspective. This is super important because what you don't want to do in the next couple of months, when those award letters come in and the schools begin to notify you that have accepted your student and that your student, this is what the award letter is going to look like, and you have a gap in funding, you want to have something to compare that to because the schools that you have an interest in, the ones that you love and care about, may not feel the same way towards you. And so we want to keep that in mind. One of the remember talking to one family, and I was saying they was sharing what school that they wanted to go to, and it was very passionate about it. And I said, "Does that mean that uh, you're going to attend that college or bust, or what does that mean?" So, parents, please have conversations with your students now about what the next steps are going to be when you do not receive the award that you are expecting. Because again, there's a lot of rumors going around out there. Unfortunately, most students will take advice from other students, and it's a huge rumor mill, and critical decisions are being made without any foundation behind those decisions being made. So, step one, we want to make sure that you have a sense of how much college is going to cost. Get the financial aid analysis. And when you get that financial aid analysis, when you're talking with a specialist or a person who has extensive knowledge in this area, they will be able to help you evaluate your risk factors through that analysis. They will be able to help you to see if you're making mistakes pertaining to the FAFSA that you need to know about. Are there funding opportunities that you are not aware of, especially if you take the next step and get a funding analysis for the specific schools that you have an interest in? That's going to really be important because every school does not treat the student the same. I have see this all the time when families have multiple children going to the same school and they have different award letters. Just because you belong to the same household, that means absolutely nothing in terms of what your funding is going to look like because they're going to treat every student differently. Okay, so we want to get that analysis done. The second part, we want to get that analysis done for each school so that we can have a sense of what the funding might look like. And then you can have real conversations with your student about the possibilities of what decisions you're going to make and the budget that you have to work with. Very, very important to be able to do that now. I like to see parents having this conversation in the eighth and ninth grade because you give your student time to marinate on that information and then make decisions over time as they're maturing and coming into adulthood. They have a better sense of what this is all about, and they make wiser decisions from my experience. So anyway, let's get that financial analysis done and get that report for the financial aid analysis for each of the schools. Listen, I know we really don't, in high schools, student aid night, or you may belong to a fraternity, sorority, financial aid night, they really don't get into this. So if you're looking for someone, a trained specialist who has a knowledge of this that can teach parents how to avoid expensive financial mistakes and to design a zero net cost education funding strategy despite having to pay, where we look at how we're going to recapture that cost and actually make a profit from the cost of college. Listen, I'm looking forward to seeing you soon. If you need me, reach out. I'd love to come and speak to your event, or if you want us to do an online session, we can do that as well. There's a link for if you want an analysis, free analysis done. Look for the link there, and you can get a copy of that report, and you can even set up a 15-minute phone chat to answer any preliminary questions that may be necessary for your specific situation. Remember, the cost of college is not based on the retail price. Cost of college is going to be based on your understanding of the process and learning how to position yourself to create a zero net cost college funding strategy despite having to pay. Looking forward to seeing you soon here, Certified College Funding Specialist Jeff Taylor.